Hello everybody and welcome back to our vineyard for the last and final time of this little mini series. Today episode number 5, and we are going to be working on building up a few little house designs right up here to nestle in right against that big old wheat field right up there. The last few episodes we have been spending building up this amazing area right here. We've added in these trees, we've added in this awesome manor house throughout here, we've added in a stables building, a storage shed, a little bit of a garden over here, and most importantly, the vineyard itself. I am so in love with this area here. These fields, all of these lines of the grapes and all the vines and everything just looks so amazing. I love flying around this area. I really do hope that you guys have enjoyed this one. What has your guys' favorite part of this build been? Is there anything that you guys want me to explain more in detail for anything in here? I'd be happy to help out with that. I've had so much fun building up this one. Let's go ahead and take a quick little air shot right here before we touch back down into it. Wow. Look at that guy. I'm so happy with this one. Anyways, before we get today's episode kicking off into gear, we're going to be building up those houses, but also in this little area right here where it's a little blank spot, I would love to be able to throw in 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 little apple trees. My goal for today is to get a bunch of apple trees in here, and we're going to be using some oak leaves as well as some jungle leaves, because we can basically say those guys right there are like green apples or something. They're not quite grown up yet or something. They're getting there, but we also have a little bit of a problem here. I only have 64 jungle leaves to my name right now, so we want to go ahead and plant down just a few saplings here, and I'm running low on jungle wood too, so I actually would love to be able to grow up some of these guys. I might grab those vines too. That sounds like a great idea. So I need to go ahead and get these guys gathered up. Let me go ahead and get some oak wood and all that good stuff on me as well. Ooh, that's a big guy right there. And let me get everything gathered up here together, and I'll meet up with you guys as soon as we can start building these apple trees. I thought before we brought in some trees in here, we probably wanted to go ahead and set up a little bit of a retaining wall going along the edge here to help just add a little bit of a dividing color area between the vineyard and the little apple orchard that we're throwing in here, and everything in this area is very little. So I wanted to go ahead and basically bring this guy along here, really organic, just basically bringing it straight into the wall. We can end it off basically right there. That's fine. I don't really care about it being completely throughout, so we can go ahead and just do something right there. Bring these guys up. We're just really randomly throwing these in here. There's no rhyme or reason to where I'm placing the blocks. Let's go ahead and throw like some full blocks right in there. We do that guy, and bam, bam. And let's do final one right like you, and that works great. Then I wanted to come back in and just throw in a few little bits of andesite throughout to help mix it up a bit more. And voila, our wall looks a lot more interesting and a lot more just detailed out. That's all we basically need to divide these areas. I think that'll be good. So what I wanted to do though is I want to go ahead and use dark oak logs as our base here. Then we have spruce fences, and we have oak and jungle leaves. So these look fairly similar in this area. The textures on them are different, but for the most part, the color is basically the exact same. So I wanted to go ahead and use these guys for our trees. And then I really love the idea that we were using... Oh, crap. That was the wrong button. We wanted to do that. Oops. Okay, well, I want to use dark oak log, and I actually want to use strip dark oak log because I think this is actually a pretty good texture that we can use for our apple trees here. So I was figuring we could go ahead and throw our first one in over in this area. If you guys saw the video that actually released earlier this week on custom tree designs, that's actually where I wanted to take that apple tree design from there. I thought that would be a pretty good one where we could get a decent base idea of what these trees are going to be looking like. And let's see if we can go ahead and get up onto here. Maybe we can get up onto you and bring that guy up to there. And then, ooh, that's a pick. Let's go and do you, and we can go and strip all these guys down, and I think that'll be pretty good for the apple tree itself. Then we want to take a few more spruce guys like that. Then we can start piling up these oak leaves and everything from there. We probably want to go ahead and do this from the top. Let's see, ender pearl right to you. Then let's bring in some jungle. We can do a jungle right there. We can do an oak, and then we just want to randomly place these guys in here. And right now it's looking like we got a bit of a pattern. Since we have this big wall right here, we probably want to start dropping them down a little bit more so we can add those extra bits of detail of everything flowing around the tree. I think this one would be pretty good. I'm making this up completely as we go. There's no rhyme or reason at all to what I'm doing right here. So bear with me. That's all I'm saying, guys. Let's go ahead and do you like that. We can do bam, bring you out, bring this down. We'll take a step back here in just a second, and I want to make it somewhere that we could have somebody underneath this being able to easily look up into the tree itself and grab our apple trees, or grab our apple trees that are growing on our apple tree. No, they're going to be grabbing the little apples that are hanging off this area. I think that'll probably be a pretty good one. I think it's a little flat. I think it's very cut off right in that area, but we can go ahead and easily fix that up just by going ahead and bringing a few of these leaves down a little bit further. So one way is to bring the leaves down, but you can also actually go ahead and bring them up a little bit. So back on this side, they're actually a little bit higher up. So we have a lot more variation back there, but overall, I think that'd be pretty good for our tree design. I'll tell you guys what, let me go ahead and copy and paste this like 5 or 6 times within here, and I'll be back with you. All right, guys, we have 7 tree things in here. I don't know if they're quite apple trees, but they're going to be apple trees for us now. I have a few things I want to come in through here and add to mix things up a little bit. There have been a few other people that have pointed some things out to me that we could use and just kind of go and take as examples as we're building up this area. Unfortunately, not all of them were survival friendly. For example, using like rose bushes or something. There are a few mods like World Edit and whatnot that you can make it look like they're floating. And you can have rose bushes floating, for example, and those can symbolize apples for something. We don't quite have those, so we're going to be using something else to bring those in here together. I wanted to go ahead and use some wooden hose down here to make it look like they're like crooks for people trying to get things out of the trees. Then we're going to go ahead and have a few little buckets throughout the area as well, which we're going to be filling up with apples. And the way we're going to be filling those up with apples is through our statues data pack. We're going to go ahead and get some apples thrown in here, making it look like somebody's pulling some out of the tree. We might take one of these trees and make it look like there's a few apples hanging from it as well. That part is going to take me a long time to get together though, since that is something I'm still learning. As I've been messing with adding in the Patreon characters and things like that to our port city over there, I've been learning around a lot of that stuff, and it's been really fun to mess with all of it and just play with the idea of messing with that stuff even more, basically building it more into the world and seeing what's possible because of it. All right, welcome on back, everybody. We've got our nice little apple orchard down here, which is looking pretty cool. We got all these apple trees in place. You can see our little apple guys hanging up in there. They're looking pretty good. I think we could probably add a bunch more in here. But after about 45 minutes probably now of placing in apples and getting them to hang in the correct spots where I want them, I'm pretty much giving up. I think a few of them dotted in here will do just as much effect as filling every single underbrush and underside of a branch with them. I tried going ahead and adding in a few different apples into every single tree, but I also tried making a few of them where I think it's this guy where we have the apples actually sitting here in our little crate where everything would be. I tried making it look like they had been harvested, so this tree actually doesn't really have any apples in it besides the one hanging down here that still needs to be grabbed. I like this one. I also went ahead and threw in one of our little wooden hose here as that's being like as a crook to get these things out of a tree. Threw it here so it's like leaning up against the tree. I don't know. Thought that was a pretty cool fit as well. Coming up here, however, the next thing I wanted to move on to in today's episode was working on building up our little houses right up in this area. Basically, I want to go ahead and get these houses built up now. We can focus on these guys, and then I also want to go ahead and get a little bit more detail back in that area because it looks a little bland right now. If we go ahead and throw maybe some more gardens or something else in there, I think we can get a lot of good stuff. But this is up. We're at 1, 2, 3. I was thinking 4, 5. And then on this, I actually want to go ahead and basically bring it into the center here. And we can hopefully bring this up to a single one wide point. And then, so that's 4 and 5. And then bam, bam, bringing you all the way up here. And cool, it does work out bringing this up to 1 point. I want a little bit of a height variation between these guys. So this one is going to be a little bit on the taller side than our other structure. Where are we at? We are at the correct height here. So this one is basically going to be coming up all the way up to here, going all the way throughout. And I think this will be the last height variation that, oh, nope, come on. Okay, we'll go up from this side. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then 1 and 2, 1 and get rid of you. And bam, bam, cool. So I was thinking that house would be somewhat looking like that. So it's a really small inside, but it's basically just gonna be stone walls on the sides with, we might bring in some thatch, or we might just go with the dark oak that we're using in the city over there to make sure it all blends in together. This guy over here, however, I want to go ahead and basically bring him up. So right here, this one is actually only going to come up to being 4. So this is 2, so that'd be 3. Yeah, I'm thinking right here will be good. Then we can go ahead and step this up basically just one at a time. And something like that should be good for that end, which is what I was thinking of. And then over here, we're going to go ahead and make sure this one's a little bit taller. So we can go ahead and do probably 5 on this guy. So that's up 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5. And then we can go ahead and do the 2 high ones on this guy right here, bringing these up to the same central point. And then we can go ahead and copy that same thing right back over here. All right, I think that should be a pretty good game plan here for what everything's going to be looking like. I'll tell you guys what, though. Let me go ahead and get some stone walls on these, get some texture variation on the stone, and we can come back in and start messing around with some roof ideas. Welcome on back, everybody. We have some awesome new little shapes for houses set up here, ready to go for us to be adding some roofs on, adding some extra details into the area. And I'm starting to really like this guy. I think we have a pretty good look going on here. My throat is a little scratchy right now, though, so sorry if the audio doesn't sound super great in this one. It also got a morning voice, you know, all of the best things we could possibly have. I went ahead and brought in polish andesite along the sides here to make it a little bit more of a border. Then we got our little stone slabs going along the top, and then step in every other going throughout this way. I like the general shape and feel that the house gets with that. And then what I wanted to do was go ahead and come on up here with some dark oak planks and basically just bring these along the back area with this. Create a bit of a border throughout here, and then I was thinking we could go ahead and do some dark oak stairs, bringing them all the way up like this. Then we can go ahead and just do you, and then we can go ahead and basically just copy this coming all the way down and do another one coming right through here, and that should be good like that. And then at the top, I was thinking we'll go ahead and just bring in this top one right here with full block. Then to add some detail bits on it, I was thinking we could go ahead and copy that every other pattern that we had going on down below with just some slabs on top. Overall, I think this should be looking pretty good. I don't want to do windows on the sides. I like the idea of this being all stone throughout and the only windows are on the front and the back, but I think overall that's a good design for the house. I'd say with our roofs in place here, it's actually looking pretty good. I like these. I think we could go ahead and maybe smooth those corner bits out a little bit more, but I almost like that kind of step back pattern where it makes it look very, very angular. Beyond that, I want to come in here and bring in some hay bales. We got some note block crates, we got some craft tables, and we got one chest. Then I actually do have something else that I want to be showing you guys and working on here in just a sec. But we're going to go ahead and just dot a few of these guys around here, making it look like this area is very, very lived in and kind of just things are thrown all over the place. So we can go ahead and mess these crates up here a little bit. For those of you who are downloading the texture pack, if you want to change the texture on the crate, just right click on them and you can get some variation in there. What I did want to add in also is one, we can bring some hay bales right here, but I wanted to on the back of this side add in a little bit of a chicken coop. So if you guys didn't know, in Minecraft 1.13 they made it so that chickens can no longer jump over trapdoors. So if we go ahead and literally just create an area right here with trapdoors all over the place, chickens will not be able to jump out of this. So I was thinking we could go ahead and do something like this. Would look pretty cool. Chickens can't get out, but we do need to go ahead and get some form of a coop in here so that there's some way for the chickens to actually have something that they can be inside of, I guess. And I was thinking we could go ahead and make a really, really simple one here just out of some spruce. For some filler blocks, let's go ahead and just throw those guys in there. Then up here, I want to go ahead and bring in some oak trapdoors so that we can easily see if the chickens are inside or outside of the coop. Then right in here, this would be a little hatch area where they can get in and out of their little area where they live inside. So we can go ahead and get rid of these guys. And right like that, we now have a little simple chicken coop. I'm thinking on this side, though, we're going to go ahead and actually do a full one. And then on this side as well, I think we're going to go ahead and do a full spruce trapdoor just to make it look a little bit more covered in. And maybe right here, too. Maybe that might look a little bit better. So we can go ahead and do you. Get all these things out of there. And I like that. I think that's a pretty good chicken coop. Now, we can't have a chicken coop without actually having chickens in it. So let's see if we can actually get some in here. There's one. There's two. Let's see if we can't get one more little guy in here. I don't want to kill him, though. Let's see. We got a lot of eggs. I was not expecting... Okay, there's 3. Let's go for 5. I think 5 will be a good number in here. All right, very cool. We got 5 chickens in here. Now, the next thing we can go ahead and add is if we bring in some item frames and actually just plop these guys along here, we can go ahead and bring in some dead coral fans on top of those, and it'll actually look like they've made little nest areas outside of these. I guess we have Cerberus the chicken living in here now. So, you know, that's pretty cool. But we went ahead, we got 5 of these guys in here. I brought in some purple fans, got these over at the storage room back in the city. Luckily, we had quite a few in there. You're not supposed to be able to jump up there. Oh, you know what? They can use the item frames to jump. We're going to have to... Oh, there goes the coral fan. We're only doing 2 of these. Oops. To quickly take a break away from our current project, I wanted to go ahead and welcome yet another Patreon into our patron into our world. We have Steadier. the blacksmith. I thought this was a pretty cool one. We got the little axe here being basically a hammer. He's got his little sword he's working on. Anyways, thank you so much for the support, dude. Welcome to the world. Welcome on back, everybody. I've been doing quite a lot of work of adding detail and just adding little bits of life and other elements around this area to make it look a little bit more lived in. So we got all these things in here. We brought a lot of grass, and maybe it looks a little bit more overgrown than lived in now, but I really like it. I think it adds a lot of atmosphere to our farming village in here. These are not part of it. Those are my shulker boxes of stuff. I did go ahead and add a little bit of a carrot field back in here so we could get some more carrots planted, just another type of crop. We got this nice little area right here. I did envision this thing basically closing that way, being able to close the latch and create a little bit of a fence right in there. Got a few bushes going over the top, just adding in some green into that area. Then down here is where I've been doing a lot of the work. I brought in this little makeshift custom oak tree thing with using our spruce fences as the base. Just some oak leaves draped across the top of it. And then we got some rose bushes and other colorful plants throughout here. I really like that in this guy I went ahead and used little patches of colored flowers. So in here we have the peonies, we have the little oxeye daisies, and we have the azure bluets over here. Then we have our purple alliums up here in the front, and then back here we have the little rose bushes themselves, which I think is pretty good. It adds a lot of variety to it. This area right here, I did bring this hedge line coming all the way down here. I need to figure out something to do back here. I'm not quite sure what I want to do back in this area, but I was flying over the top just after stopping back there and grabbing up some more resources, and it looks so empty compared to everything else, so I think I need to figure out something that we can put in back here before I can call this project finished. But while we're talking about that stuff, one other thing I did want to manage to tackle today was I actually do want to go ahead and set up the interior down here. I want to go ahead and get a decent idea of at least of what this interior is going to look like in general. So I'll tell you guys what, let me go ahead and do a little bit of work getting these walls decorated out, and I'll be back with you guys and we can go ahead and plan this thing out. I went ahead and got all the texture variation in down below, and I've started working on a few more details and just adding a little bit of extra depth and life into the sky. First and foremost, by bringing in some stone brick lines up throughout here and on the corners just to border it a little bit more, make it feel a little bit more full. And then we got the polished andesite through here. Our texture variation on the walls is basically just stone, andesite, and cobblestone throughout. Now we got these guys to take care of. Also, the floor is just coarse dirt, spruce wood, and then stripped spruce logs. And then in these guys, I wanted to go ahead and leave them as polished andesite here on the ground. But I do want to go ahead and actually break this up here up at the top and make it a little bit more interesting if we can. And by doing that, I want to go ahead and bring in 4 dark oak fences. Then we're going to go ahead and bring in, we're going to start with you, and then stack these guys up like this. And then we're going to make basically a wine keg, a wine barrel of what you would call it. Who knows what would be up here. But basically something like you. And then to give it a little bit of an extra lip on top, we're going to go ahead and just do that guy. And then we can come back down here. And if we just surround all of this stuff, we should start to see the remblance or look-ish of a type of a keg. You can't really see that from down here though. Dang. Okay. We might make this other one a little bit lower, but basically what I want to do from there was take a little spigot thing out of the front of it. Let's go ahead and give ourselves a crafting table here real fast. And drop you down. Then I wanted to in front of these guys to, I guess I can't do that because I need to go ahead and get a spruce trapdoor right there to be able to make a bucket. So that works. That's our bucket. I wish we could get these up a little bit taller so you could see a little bit more about what's going on in there. But maybe we go ahead and just do something like you. And we can do like, bam, just bring in some stairs. So we have some stairs that maybe go like this, and then you can see up to the top right there. That's kind of cool. These could be on something that like almost rolls around, or maybe has its own little fence right there, and we have like a full block right there. So you can basically do this. You could, if you're short enough, you could jump on top of that, or you could crawl in there or something and smash them down. I don't know, that's kind of cool. I went ahead and adjusted this one here just slightly and brought the spruce trapdoors all the way down. I feel like that almost makes it look more barrel-y throughout. So I think we're going to go ahead and bring that in all the way around this guy right here as well. And it should look pretty good as far as kind of finishing off those bits. You can walk up both these, see everything here in the top, and if you're a small person, you could climb in there and be able to smash down the grapes and do all that good stuff. But I thought that'd be a cool way that we could have a front entrance on this guy. Now, for over here, I wanted to basically go ahead and bring in some dark oak pillars going all the way up to the top. Let's see if we can't line these up right here. And then we can maybe do like this is basically going to be a little bit of barrel storage. And then we can go ahead and do it onto this one. So we could go ahead and do something like this. Unfortunately, we're not in 1.14 yet, so we don't have access to what the actual barrels themselves. So I'm not going to be filling anything on these guys quite yet. I do want to come back in here in 1.14 and be able to rework all this stuff just to make it a little bit better. But I was thinking we could basically go ahead and come in here and make it look like there's a lot of empty racks ready to go for once the barrel production starts. And once they get all those things going on, we don't really have an option for anything that looks that great as a barrel right now in 1.13, but something tells me we're going to be moving up into that 1.14 soon. So we have all these barrels in here, or racks where we can stack up the barrels. Back here, I'm not really sure what I want to be doing. If you guys have ideas for that, let me know, because I'm kind of at a loss for what I want to be doing down here. I feel like we want the center area to be pretty wide open, because obviously we are going to be using a lot of just different things throughout this area. Let's see, how dark does it get back there? So there is a 1-7 block right there and another one right there. So I don't know, can they spawn? I guess we could get baby zombies spawning in there. I think this will be pretty good for down here though for right now. There is a spawning spot right there. All right, I did not realize quite how long this episode got in, guys. We are super far into this one so far. I'm gonna see how much I can chop this down editing wise to make sure it's all interesting for you guys. But it's been a long one. We've done a lot of stuff today. We've gotten everything over there done. We've gotten all this area right here detailed and those houses completely built up and everything. Then we did the interior down below, which I haven't modified at all since last time we were in there. And just overall quality of life improvement. So, but we got this area left right here, which I really want to touch on as we jump out of here. And basically what I wanted this to look like is a little bit like I was originally thinking like a loose rose field. So we could kind of make some diagonal lines going along right this. I thought that would be kind of cool. So we could go ahead and make it look just very naturally grown, but like still in lines. So maybe like the owner's wife or something like that is just big into roses and wanted her own little rose patch garden area back here. And I think the red color of the roses will go well with the wine and the wine colors and the roof colors and everything like that we have. I actually realized that we don't have any dedicated area for roses to being grown in this area. We have basically every other too tall flower has some rhyme or reason or purpose or place that it's growing in the area, but we don't quite have one for these guys. So I was thinking we could go ahead and basically just bring this out here and have this be like the rose garden bit in this general farming area. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this, get a little bit more detail work done back here, guys, and I'll be back with y'all. Does it fit in super well? Not really. Probably if we had some more time, I would have done something else, but I think for the time that we had, simply something like this is actually a pretty good touch for our general area in here with help bringing in just a little bit more life to everything that's going on in here. Let's see if we can actually land our elytra and jump on down to here. Then we can take, I like from this side. That's very cool. That's just a lot of rose bushes. All right, cool. I like that. I'll tell you guys what though. Let me go ahead and find a cool comment or question of the day for our last one for this build here, and I'll be back with you guys. With our shaders on, this area having a bunch more life in it now, and I totally forgot about our chickens over here. I am loving this one, guys. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed our Let's Build series, working on this vineyard here, bringing everything up here together, making so many different things. And oh man, this was super fun to work on. I had so much fun here. I haven't done this like small scale of a project as where I'm looking at this large vineyard here. Small scale, I mean by small buildings and small, just focusing on a tiny area for a very long time. And it was very, very fun coming back to try and work with this type of style and everything like that again. So if you guys enjoyed this one, be sure to let me know with some other ideas of what else we can do similar to these types of things, but still keeping it a little bit more unique moving forwards of what we can go for. I thought the water in there dried up for a quick second. Yeah, this was a good episode. This was a good series. I really enjoyed this one, but I got a comment question of the day for you guys here, which mostly leads me into a question for y'all. I have an idea for a tutorial about something me and a lot of people struggle with, also known as diagonal buildings, but mainly diagonal roofs from Mari Senpoi. I think that's a great idea. Let me know what you guys think though on that. Should we go ahead and bring in a few more tutorials onto the channel? It seems like those have been doing really well recently and you guys have been really enjoying the tutorials. So that leads me, one, would you guys like to see a tutorial on diagonal buildings? Because I feel like that's something that I can probably share a bit of knowledge with, as I mostly build every single building on some sort of an angle somewhere, minus that guy. But yeah, let me know if you guys think that would be cool, if you guys want to see anything like that. Also, other ideas for tutorials that you guys want to see things for. Very interested to hear all of those. As always, thank you all so much for watching today's episode. Please hit that like button if you did enjoy it. It means a heck of a lot to me, guys. The support recently has been amazing, so I really appreciate it from all of you. And please hit that subscribe button if you're just now checking out the channel. We're going to have a bunch of new stuff coming here forwards. Next episode of our survival series, we are going to be jumping back over to the castle. And I'm hoping that we can actually go ahead and finish up this tower completely right there, and potentially that tower too. Maybe we'll do this guy and tackle that small top over there. But I want to go ahead and before episode 175 of this general world, I want to go ahead and get that guy finished up. And this is 170 for now. So we have 4 episodes to do that one. I'm going to stop blabbing along here, if I can even talk. So thank you all so much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button if you are new, and I will catch you on the flip side.